What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of the Dudeality podcast, where our motto is living comfortably uncomfortable. My name is Ian Perez, joined by Jonathan Mercado, Victor Rivera, and Chris Zora. We're four ordinary dudes with extraordinary dreams. Jonathan, what's up, dude?
Yo, what's up, everyone? Sorry about last week. Your boy was sick. I was out with the head cold and a little bit of that congestion, guys. I don't know if you might be able to hear a little bit of it, right? You still hear a little bit of it?
We heard it before we hit record.
Yeah, you heard the little had it cleared out of my throat, man. So, just a little recap. I am alive and I'm back and I'm well and I'm on the uprise. So I'm feeling good. It was about a good 5 days of just being in bed and coughing and getting vocals. And I lost my voice. It was literally the day that it rained on a Wednesday, the day or the night before. I don't know. It rained. And then immediately the next day, I woke up, no voice, gone. And then vocals and allergies. And people were telling me, I don't watch the news, but people were saying that there was dirt from South Africa. I don't know, dirt somewhere that came in through I have no idea. I don't watch the news, but can somebody confirm some kind of dirt flew into Austin?
Yeah. So every year here in Texas, there's like whatever sand from or whatever comes. It does come from Africa, from the wind, whatever it works. I forgot how to explain it, but every year it does happen.
Is that El Nino? Is that something else? Am I thinking something?
No, that's something else. But yeah, so every year it happens supposedly. We just don't know when, but it happens during the summer sometime.
Yeah, man. Well, real quick, I just want to shout out you guys. I listened to the podcast. It was phenomenal. Y'all did a great job. And I heard Vic saying that, Jonathan's not catching a break. And it feels like that, right? It's like wisdom teeth, ankle, I get sick. And so, ever since I hit 30, man, it's been a roller coaster ride. But I'm staying positive about everything. Life's going to throw those curveballs. I'm just going to keep hitting those home runs and keep swinging.
Do it. Yeah, man. I'm glad you're back. Glad you're back. Get the whole team together. So
I missed you. It's been like 3 weeks before, since we'd all been together doing a podcast.
Yeah,
I think the week before, and
the
then
week before was you.
We skipped a week.
We got to go hang out, man. We need to.
I was actually thinking that, especially since we hit our 6-month mark, like I felt like it's time we're due to get together.
Anniversary.
Boys' night out.
Yeah.
Go ahead and ask permission now. Put it on the calendar so the wives are aware.
For real.
Like it's been in your calendar, babe. I'm sorry.
Not this weekend, maybe next weekend.
I know. Give me a couple weekends, man. My wife has been needing me because she's been a stay-at-home mom, like literally all by herself for the past week, doing everything. And all the moms know out there, like it's tough doing everything on your own. You definitely need a second hand, and I couldn't be there, but I'm making up for it. I just made dinner, steak dinner. I sent y'all the picture.
That's a sad dinner, bro.
Steak dinner with
that was steak. I thought it was chicken.
No, that was steak, bro.
It looked like a little chicken, chicken cut.
Maybe pork. Maybe a little pork.
I can look at that picture again.
So here's the deal. I'm dieting, right? So I'm eating healthy. So I bought the big, dry center cut steak with no fat. And so then I bought Desi a separate little juicy steak that New York strip or whatever the case may be. That was this big right here. And as much as my 2 big steaks, the same price, but I did it for her. So that was a steak that y'all saw. That little one was her New York steak. But yeah, man, sweet potatoes and some mac and cheese, bro.
Sounds good. Yeah, my kids love mac and cheese, man. They can probably eat that every day.
I love mac and cheese.
Yeah, I love mac and cheese.
Yeah.
I gotta stay
I
away,
like that
bro.
though. Like I'll eat mac and cheese, but like very, very like once in a while.
I'll take a whole box by myself.
Same, dog. I could I would not even put it in a bowl. Let me just bring the pot over to the kitchen table and I'll just slam that. But yeah, man, how's y'all's week, bro? Real quick, I want to catch up because the accountability seemed a little bit lost on this month. I want to know what books you guys are on.
I don't have a book. I'm still working on the underdog book.
That's on me. That's on me, guys. And I fell off with the account. Well, I've been sick and shit been going on. But hey, what do y'all have in mind? What do you got?
Well, I'm still reading. I've been reading I've been reading The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck.
Oh, I saw that one. I wanted to actually read that one eventually.
And yeah, it's been good so far. It's a whole different like outlook on self development. Just basically like
not giving a fuck.
Well, to an extent, yeah. Like sometimes it talks about like ego. And like it's, I mean, I don't know. It talks like a lot of different things. I don't. But yeah, it's just way different.
It's deep. Yeah. I read a certain book. It's called Unfuck Yourself, and it's something very similar, right? It goes deep, psychological, where you have to start thinking a little bit differently. And it's real deep. I probably need to read it again, but I enjoyed that book because the guy cussed just as much as me in his books, maybe more. And I was like, oh, relatable. I was like, let's go. I can relate.
I know somebody.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, he talks about like you can't always be positive. Like you need negatives in your life. Like that's how you grow. And things like that. I mean, that's one of many things he's talked about so far.
Yeah, I dig it, man. Ian, what you got, brother?
I'm still reading Think Like a Monk. I'm halfway through it.
That's a big book.
Yeah,
that's what he said. I started doing something a little different. Everyone said that's what she said, and so lately I've been like, that's what he said. It throws everyone off, bro. It's the funniest thing.
I mean, I use that too, but I don't feel like that one worked that well.
No, it's like no matter what the case may be, I just say that's what he said. It throws everyone off because usually that would be like, hey, that's what she said. I just say that's what he said, and I get like, oh, what'd you say? I was like, yeah, I said it. Just to see their face. Wow. Like Victor's face, screenshot it. My conservative HR guy over here.
No, mine was like, doesn't even go. That was my first thought. Even if you do say what she says, like, doesn't even go. Doesn't have the same like punch.
I took it quite literal. That's what he said.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did just
that's what I meant. Exactly.
I review everyone's jokes if they're good or not in my head. But I'm like, oh, that was a bad joke.
He writes them down if it was good.
Like, you suck. I was
like, Vic, you say you don't have a book, right?
No, I'm gonna finish that one I started. So I've been kind of off and on. So I've been doing pretty bad on the books the last 2 months. So I'm gonna finish this book, and I'll like midway I'll pick another one.
All right. Well, we'll just roll this month into the next month, so y'all have 2 additional weeks next month to finish whatever book you start. So if you start a book today, you have 6 weeks to finish it. Because I'm not even gonna lie, I just started my book today. Tribal leadership.
Oh yeah, you said you were gonna read a book about leadership.
Yeah, I had it in my mind. I just never downloaded it. So finally today I plunged into it. But yeah, man, let's go ahead and jump into that dirty topic, Mr. Victor Gotts. It's gonna get dirty. So if you're listening,
wait for it, guys. I'm just kidding.
What do they say? Muffins?
Earmuffs.
Earmuff kids.
So all right, if your kids are around, let them go into the other room. So fun topic is what is something that you like to eat that other people might think is a little weird or other people won't like? It's something you like to eat that most people maybe don't.
I don't know. The reason I thought about it is because I brought it up because of mac and cheese. So Steph made Nico mac and cheese. I'm like, hey, just make some hot dogs and cut it up and put in the mac and cheese. She's like, no, that's gross. I'm like, my mom used to make that all the time, and I would still eat it now if I could, if I wanted to. So like putting hot dogs in mac and cheese and mixing it up.
I think that's pretty fun.
You could put mac and cheese in anything, and I think it'd be like pretty cool to do.
Yeah.
A lot of new restaurants like burgers have mixed it up like with the mac and cheese with the burger.
Yeah. One thing I didn't eat, I always had friends in middle school and high school. They would mix gravy with ketchup and they'd eat it with their fries.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that. That's kind of cool.
Sounds gross.
So here's what I get a concoction. It's a concoction, brother. Like it's freaking pouring over here. It just started pouring. Weird. Yeah, it's hitting hard over here right now. Mine is on my chicken. I pour gravy, honey, hot sauce, and lemon, bro. 4 things in one, all over the place, like all over the fries, all over my biscuit, all over the chicken, and it's sweet, it's spicy, has a little lemon kick to it, and it's delicious.
TMI, but does it come out as easy as it goes in? I just feel like all that together just would throw your stomach for a loop.
Yeah, it comes out easier, a lot smoother because I put there's a lot of liquids
okay,
going on.
I'm good. I'm good.
I don't think the site. I think that science backs that up. But I tried it. I think it was a long time ago. I was at your house, and then forgot what we were doing. We ordered Bush's chicken. Was it Bush's chicken?
No.
Yeah.
Nah, don't disrespect. It's not Bush's chicken, brother.
What is it?
It's Chicken Express.
Chicken
It's,
Express.
Golden Chick. Nah, not Golden Chick, brother. Stop it.
Yeah, they have OP. Their gravy, on point.
Stop it.
Yeah.
Vic, I mean, Chris, you got anything?
I was just thinking about it. Like, it's kind of simple. Just like I like olives, and I know a lot of people don't like olives. Or just sometimes just plain pasta with nothing on it.
Bro, you look like you'll eat mayonnaise out of a jar.
So that's.
I hate mayonnaise.
So plain pasta.
I used to actually throw up from mayonnaise. Like, it was really bad.
Nah, I can eat some mayonnaise on a burger or something.
Ugh.
Back in the day, brother, had that sandwich with just mayonnaise on it, no crust.
Dude, I still do that. I still do just mayonnaise. I'll put the cheese, that's like my lazy little snack. Like, God damn, I'm hungry, but I don't want to do anything. So I just grab 2 pieces of bread, mayonnaise, cheese, put together.
Call it a day, brother. I feel you. But hey, man, Jonathan go on messing around all day without having a topic about the podcast. So let's jump in it. Ian brought this one up, and it was a good one. I even kicked it out the number 2 spot and put this one in there because it was something that I feel like we all need to, I think, underestimate. Like, we don't think about it too much at all, which is probably a problem because I feel like it does need to have some awareness so that way you can have better relationships. So the topic is trust. Why trust is important. Do you trust others? If you don't, why not? How can trust, what drives trust? Like, what are the processes you thinking you can trust somebody? And what's the other ones, Ian? Did I miss one?
No, yeah. How can you improve if you're lacking in trust in certain areas?
So how can you improve your trust, right? So if it's lacking, how can we make some forward progress into trust? And so, guys, I think this is a great one because all relationships start with trust, right? And so let's just go ahead and jump into it. What is trust?
Yeah, I mean, man, it's very general, but I think as I take it, trust is when you trust somebody. I'm just kidding. It's the same word.
This podcast. Thanks for joining us today.
No, you hit the mark, brother. Hey, put that on Instagram. That clip
right now.
I'll do it.
That's it. But for real, it's I think when you trust, it's really you become vulnerable, right? You're able to open up to someone and just really be yourself, and someone you can count on, you can rely on, and knowing that, hey, I'm gonna rely on this person no matter what. Whatever I say, what I do, they're gonna have my back, type of thing. That's kind of how I take it.
Yeah, you have confidence, or you have confidence in someone else as well. I think that's a big part of trust.
And do you need to add to that? Because the only thing I need to add to that, my words exactly, except comes with the risk. Like being vulnerable and take a risk at the same time, because it does come with the risk. There's certain risk, which is why some people don't trust, because that risk involved.
Yeah, no, I like all those. 3 things I would add, kind of what I picked up just from reading, is you really think about it, you kind of build up trust out of 3 aspects. How authentic that person is, or how authentic you're being towards them to gain trust. The logic behind the reasoning of that trust between you two, like if it's actually strong or if it's weak, and then the empathy that is shown between each other.
Those okay, 3, TED Talk.
Those 3.
I feel you, Mr. Ted. I ain't gonna lie. I watched like 4 TED Talks about trust. I was like, all right.
It's the clip notes, but I mean, they really did stick with me. Like, if you think about it, all 3 of those put together build up trust. So those are 3 things I'd add.
I like how you said that because I have another 3. I watched another TED Talk. Not the same words, but almost the same concept of those 3. Mine were, the 3 drivers of trust would be their ability, right? Can they perform the job? Are they confident? Which Chris said, their ability, right? Are they experiencing that? The second aspect would be benevolence, which means, empathy. Do they care, right? Do they care enough about you to put my trust into them, right? Are they invested in you? And the third one is integrity. Values. Do your values align with the other person? And then if they do, most likely you'll veer more towards trusting that person. And Ian, can you repeat your three real quick?
Yeah. Authentic, logic, empathy.
Authentic, logic. So logic would be like the ability. Authentic would be, was authenticity? Authentic. Oh my God, there's that word.
Authenticity. Yeah.
I messed that up a long time ago on that podcast.
Just say being authentic. Yeah.
Authenticity.
There you go.
There you go, guys. You see, you can never keep learning.
Yeah, there you go, guys. All right, so I like those three drivers of trust, man. From there, I want to know your process. Your guys individually, you meet somebody. Do you just trustworthy off the back, or do you have like a system in your head, like you're just doing, or it just naturally happens? Like what goes on in your head to trust somebody?
See, that's what I was gonna go with right now is like there's different types of people as far as trust level like goes. Like I'm very like when I meet someone, I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt already. I'm gonna give you respect. I'm gonna give you like a bunch of things, right? But I'm also giving you trust. Like I'm gonna trust you just automatically with whatever you're doing. So automatically I'm giving you trust. Now, depending on what you do from then on, you might lose my trust or just like less trust that I'm gonna have with you. But for me, I really don't have a system, and I think it also depends on the situation. If which then goes into those three aspects that you guys talk about. But I think if it's something, for example, it's something that's critical, that's maybe something that needs to be handled with care, I'm probably gonna lean on someone I trust more with something, right? So, like for example, Jonathan and his wife were able to help us out with, looking after my kids when a little one was born. So I trust them a lot. I trust them with my kids, right? So that level of trust was there from the time we've known each other, stuff like that. And so,
can I stop you there because I want to go into context?
Yeah.
If you trust me and I'm trustworthy, does that mean you could trust me with anything?
No.
That's a good question. Like I said, I think that's what I was gonna gain. I think it's situational, right?
It's very specific, right?
Yeah,
it is very specific.
Because I think one of the things that drove me, logically to trust you is one, right? Yeah, he has kids, so he has parent skills, right? I've been around him. He doesn't,
Hey, high quality parent skills.
Yeah. So responsible, you got to know people in and out, any tweakers coming in there.
Bro, I fed your daughter McDonald's and she never had McDonald's before.
Oh, that's so funny. That's the first thing she told me.
You might have made a mistake.
Yeah. The funny thing about it is because like we talk about, we teach our kids to eat better than you taught us. So we teach, hey, I'm not saying like things are bad. We just, hey, they're just way better of eating, so we don't really go to McDonald's, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Not saying we don't eat McDonald's, right? But we don't really go. But so my daughter right off the bat, like, oh, and Desi took us this, and Desi's like, but in her mind, she's just telling how her time was.
Yeah.
Which is funny. My daughter, she's very fun. She's very open, very like honest, blunt. She doesn't know what she's doing sometimes.
Yeah.
But it's funny. But I think for me, trust is also, that background that I use it. There's been things you've shown that other person that you can do, right? And then for me, it's like, oh, I'm gonna, lean on someone that I know has some, background in that certain situation. And so I think that's what most people do, right? You go from from experience, from your interaction with that person, what have they shown you to able to trust them with something, right? I think also I've gone to when something's like really personal has happened to me, or I've messed up really bad in some sort of way and I need some sort of like guidance or like some sort of advice. I'm gonna go to someone that's probably gone through almost the same things. I trust that person to give me like some direction, some good answer because they've been through some of the stuff as well already. So I think that has a lot to do with like the logical of trusting someone, but also it's like situational. Depends on what situation is. I think you trust one person over another more, I think.
I feel you. So I like off the bat that you kind of said, off the bat, I'm more trustworthy, right? Like you're more like to trust somebody.
More trusting. Yeah.
More trusting. Chris, Ian, I want to hear from y'all. Do y'all just trust people off the back? Like how do you process that?
Yeah, I would say I tend to trust people as well until they give me a reason not to. But there are it is very situational because like Like if it's when it comes to money and stuff like that,
Let's
that
go
can
more context. Let's go like, hey, you're when you meet somebody, right? Because if
yeah.
you
I
know
mean,
somebody, then you have can better understanding. There's more analyticals and data of like, yo, I know this fool. I can't trust him at that. I know him.
well, no, I'm not. I mean, but even with the money thing, like if you're going to a store or you're going to like a dealer, like a car dealership or like
Bet, let's go.
like yeah, it not necessarily. You have to be a little bit more cautious with them because they're obviously trying to sell you something.
Yeah.
But I would like to think that I have a pretty good gauge of people's character. So if they say something or they seem kind of shady, like maybe I'll kind of wait before I give them some trust. They have to prove themselves a little bit. But
Yeah.
overall, I would say I'm more trusting, probably more trusting than I should be at times.
Word. Ian?
Yeah, I'm the same as these two dudes. I give trust up front. Because to me, giving trust, it gives someone the ability to actually show you the path that either you thought was right or wrong. Whereas if someone has to earn it from you, you don't really give them the power to do the best that they can. But to your point, and even Chris brought it up, I feel like I have a gauge. It's weird, like a sixth sense on, and I've had it, and I say it's a skill because it has happened multiple times where it's like friends are dating someone else, or there's just somebody that I've met, and you just feel it. Like you don't feel any of the main three. Like they're not authentic with like as a person, or they're not showing any empathy whatsoever. So you can feel that everything in front of you is fake. And so far,
Well,
I'm 100.
You need to work on that radar because I'm a terrible person.
I
just
hey, from
Give you a pass,
Chris's
bro.
book, you need negativity in your life sometimes. So
We saw
There you go.
seeing your potential. Now where you are right now.
Hey, brother, let me just say off the bat, probably the most trustworthy dude on this podcast would have to be Chris. This fool gave me 4K. I don't think we went out too many times to go buy my wife's wedding engagement ring because my check didn't come through. My bonus didn't come through like as planned, and I had already planned the destination where I was going to propose, and I wasn't going to have a ring. And I was just letting everybody know like my situation. And Chris was all like, "Bro, I got you." I was like, "What you mean?" I'll give you the money. I was like, "What?" And so off the bat, Chris trusted me, and so my word. So let's just go ahead and transition next into what happens if I was to break that trust with you guys. Where is your mind? Do you cut them off, or like what is the process with that?
if I was Chris, I'd take you to legal court, civil court, get that money back. Wait,
well, I'm pretty sure I gained Chris's trust, and our friendship probably grew tenfold because I told him I was going to pay him back at this time, and I did.
Oh.
Yeah. We set or he kind of set the deadline. I didn't even set a deadline, but he said, "Oh yeah, I'm going to get it to you by this time." And
words and actions are everything.
Oh, 100%.
And like going into it, it's like I had seen kind of like his character. I'd seen we had had multiple conversations about different things, and like I could just tell his like just based on his personality that'd be someone that I can help out, and I know he'll appreciate it and he won't take advantage of that.
And that's tough because I would so I'm not a very trustworthy person. Unfortunately, you have to earn my trust. Like I got to analyze it. I don't just give it away. Which is why my circle is normally small, and that's something I need to work on because to influence people, you have to give trust to get trust. But I think Chris, I go off, unfortunately, if somebody's like me, I don't give them trust off the back because I'm a little bit more loud. I'm a little bit more charismatic. And for some reason that would push me back. But for Chris, and most you guys are a little more calm, cool, collected, which brings me a calmness inside me to trust you guys more. So it's very weird how you guys trust me when I'm a little bit more, I play around too much. I'm a little more charismatic and we're a little bit more loud. Sometimes most likely be annoying at times, can be a bully as a friend because it's fun. So that concept for you guys to trust me off the bat is kind of, I don't get that in my head because that's not something I would do in my situation. If I met Jonathan, I would have radars going off like, whoa, he's going to have to earn the shit out of this trust.
See, but those traits that you mentioned don't necessarily allude to
Yeah,
not
and
trusting someone.
it's my perception though. It's like my little radar that's going off because everyone has different perceptions of trust. Unfortunately, when you look at somebody, you're already analyzing something without even knowing it.
And I think that stems from people's past. Like when you have things happen to you when you grow, as you grow up throughout the years, that can either build like how you feel about trusting people, or it can deter you away from that and make you question everyone.
That makes sense, bro. I grew up in a gang.
And grew up in a gang.
Like Scarface, brother, where it's like, bro, you got to watch who you trust. All right. Somebody might snatch your girl. Somebody might rob you. Your friend might do you wrong. So I grew up in an environment like that where I have to be on all my P's and Q's. So that makes sense why I do what I do.
And there's like, that's a reason why there's so many relationships that struggle, because people may have been cheated on, or they had something happen to them from a previous, like an ex or something. And so now they go into the next relationship thinking about the things that the previous relationship, like the pain that it caused them. Yeah. And they bring it with them. And it just kind of becomes a cycle for a lot of people. And it's, I mean, once it's funny because like trust is hard to gain, but it's super easy to lose.
Oh yeah.
Seconds.
I agree with
brother.
And then once you lose it, it's really hard to gain back.
Yeah. When it comes to relationships, I agree with like the past. Just it happened so many times that they carry it with them. But I just know from personal experience, so I think maybe some people might feel it as well. It's not having trust towards your spouse kind of comes from your insecurities as well. Like you just manifest things like that don't exist because of insecurities you have from God knows what. It could be stuff that you went through as a kid that you saw and just it manifested in your head. So I know at the beginning of Steph and I's relationship, like arguments would happen over nothing because of my own insecurities. And the older I got, the more confident I got as a man, the less those fights happen, and now they're non-existent.
So let me ask you guys, what can build trust?
I think in the same example, I figured
out who over there.
I wish.
Like
no, I'm biting a pin. A pin top.
Oh, okay. I was like, okay, smoke on the pocket. That's cool. I mean, I was drinking when I was an alcoholic. I mean, I'm not judging, brother. Y'all remember that phase? I used to drink
every podcast.
I went through a phase, bro. Got out, homie. Came out alive.
I mean, for you, like drinking 2 beers is like being an alcoholic.
You don't eat nothing.
You don't drink much. I mean, not
saying I starve myself, bro.
No, you eat that little piece of chicken, and that's supposed to keep the drunkie away.
Not even those carbs soak it up.
Yeah, but back to answering your question. So my instance, trusting myself and loving myself as a person made insecurities go away. Now, granted, they're obviously still there, but that's just my mind trying to get me to get back in that cycle of something's wrong, when there's nothing wrong with my relationship.
So that brings me back to like Victor, analyzing yourself first. If you want, analyzing yourself first. Victor always goes back to self-assessments, which is necessary because we're struggling with trust. Usually you got to look at yourself in the mirror. Something's wrong that needs to be fixed, right? You can't just keep blaming somebody. What's some more ways to gain trust, man? I want to gain trust. How can I be a more trustworthy person?
I mean, I think what the example you guys gave as far as like following up on what you say you're gonna do, right? So if you constantly, I think it goes a long way if you say you're gonna do something, right? Stay with that. All right. So if you say, hey, I'm gonna show up at this time, or I'm gonna do this, I think like everyone, when they start a new job or a new career or a new partnership, like you're working on that trust. You're building something. So you get to work early, or you leave your home a little bit earlier to get there on time, things of that nature, right? Or if you get assigned tasks at your job or whatever you're doing, like, hey, you're gonna come through on those things. So all those things you do, but you commit to your, what's it called? Forgot the word, but you pretty much do what you say you're gonna do, and like, right? So you can complete that. I think that's one way to gain trust. Same thing in relationships, right? If I think you gotta try it harder though. Like when Ian's saying, if you have some sort of past experiences as that has not gone very good, right? But I think most of the time you just gotta do what you say you're gonna do, right? Show it with actions, not with words, right? Or have your actions back up your words. That's probably the best way to put it.
Cool, man. All right, so self-assess, Ian, and then do what you said you were going to do. Chris, you got one?
That's pretty much what I was going to talk about. Like it's all about your actions. Like you can say you're going to do something all you want, but unless you actually do it, then it doesn't mean anything.
True. So go ahead.
I'll say another one's being honest with the person that you're building trust with. So could be a friend, could be whatever. I think communication and honesty, saying, hey, I don't trust you because you this and this, even if it hurts, just being honest about it, being clear, right? And then maybe, like we always say, like Jonathan would say, setting proper expectations, right? So that it's back to that communication piece.
That makes me feel more confident that you're gonna, you're setting these expectation guidelines. It makes me put at ease. But we can also use the 3 drivers of trust to gain trust, right? So one of the drivers is the ability. So if you want to be more trustworthy, then hone in on one of your skills to be confident enough and be actually great at it so that somebody can trust you. All right. So the next driver, once again, is benevolence, which is empathy. We talked about empathy, showing that someone that you care and that you keep caring, that can cause you to gain. So John Maxwell said you have a bank account, right? So you want to keep adding in these things, like some confidence, your ability, some empathy in there. Keep adding into each person has their own bank account with you, right? So if you keep pouring into them, and then integrity is huge, man. If you have great values and that person has the same values, they're going to be, once again, be more aligned to want to be, have trust in you. So I think those are a great base for self-assessment with Ian. Victor says, do what you said that you said what you were going to do. And Chris, tag along with that, setting expectations, but also using the 3 drivers of trust. All right.
And I have a quote that kind of goes well with this section.
Throw it out, brother.
I do not trust words. I even question actions, but I never doubt patterns.
Oh, snap.
Ooh, that's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah, I read that. I was like,
Jonathan McCardo. Pretty sure.
It said unknown. It didn't specify.
Unknown.
They didn't
That's weird.
Jonathan will take it.
That's I'll take it, brother. It's super weird.
But hey, that's so much truth right there. But I think Pat, I think we all kind of do that, right? Especially, I think when we say we observe people, right, their patterns and stuff. I think when you can consistently do something, then
hit the nail on the head.
When you consistently do something, that's not like an accident. That's you right there. You have a pattern of doing something. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So which is true. You can say that you don't do this. You can, you might act a certain way, but if you keep doing the same thing over and over, that's who you are. Not saying that you can't improve or whatever if it's bad or good, but
your probability goes up higher, right?
Yeah.
Your probability goes up higher. It's like a win to fight ratio. Like when somebody puts up the numbers to fight, what do they call that?
Betting odds.
Like the numbers to fight. Like this dude has like 200 over 100 to win. Chances of winning.
The betting odds.
Yeah, because they're using patterns. They're using the stats to come up with those. I'm a big into leadership. Well, let me tie it in real quick with John Maxwell, because he says how to be trustworthy. And it's everything that we just said, literally all tied into one. And it's align your words with your behavior. Do that long enough and consistently enough, then you will be trustworthy. So that kind of brings everything in, because the key word is consistently and long enough, right? You got to have patience and you got to be consistent. I can't expect to have your trust tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's one of the things too, I think good to brought up that, you got to be patient and it takes time. Like it just takes time. You can't rush it. Just over time you'll gain someone's trust. But some things might catapult you to gaining like a huge chunk of real estate in trust. Like I think when you show someone like in a certain situation, I think this is a perfect example. Is like when Chris stepped in with Jonathan. He was in a tough situation. Chris helped everything. Jonathan kept their word, so their trust I think grew like a leaps and bounds just from that little that little action alone. So I think just be consistent, like you said, and that we're always bringing that up, right? Being consistent. I think when we talk about everything that we always talk about is something that you do over time. And so just letting you know that anything that you work on, self-development, it's not going to happen from one day to another, just over time. So I think that's one thing that's always that we always mention is, hey, keep at it, and trust is one of them.
Yeah, you can't be all over the place.
I had another quote that kind of ties into what I want to talk about next as far as trust goes. It says, better to trust the man who is frequently in error than the one who is never in doubt. And for me, I would trust someone who makes mistakes and owns up to them as opposed to someone that's just like, he's never wrong, or he's always gets everything done, or at least so he says.
I appreciate that, because I saw that quote and I didn't really understand it, but you broke it down. That makes very much sense, because I tell my clients, if I give you an answer every single time, I'm probably not trustworthy. If I tell you sometimes that I don't know, then that knows that I have integrity. I'm not going to always say I know things when I don't. Just because if I say I know these things, it might make me look better, but in actuality, I'm not helping you. It's not doing you any benefit, because I really don't know. So the coach or the person that says they know it all, those are the ones you got to be wary about. And the coaches are humble enough and have integrity to say, you know what, I don't know, but let me find out. Those are the coaches I would be more trustworthy and to have. Those are the people that I want on my side, the ones that are willing in this to come up and not be afraid to say, you know what, I was wrong. Or you know what, this is this, right? But I'm telling you the truth. There it is. So nice, Chris.
Yeah, for sure. I think you build trust by showing people who you are, not having like a facade, right? So I think the people that you mentioned that seem to have it all together, or feel like always right or up there, but they never really show their true selves. I think those type of people are kind of losing the opportunity.
Who said that earlier? That's trust. Oh, snap. There you go. That's trust. Yeah, there it is. I was like, where does it tie in? Yeah.
So don't lose the opportunity to be vulnerable with people, right? Let them in, and that's how you build trust as well. All right. And so you can't be 100% all the time. You got to let someone in and let them know that, hey, you're human too. So you don't know something. You're not, you make a mistake, right?
Yeah.
So those type of things, I think it builds trust too.
Whenever I have to go into a hard conversation, one of the best ways to lower somebody's walls is be vulnerable and relate to them, right? Don't just say, hey, this is what you did wrong. Then the wall goes up, and whatever you say after that is useless. So I think step one, being vulnerable, lowering down those walls, and being able to communicate speaks way more loudly than just correcting somebody or telling them they did something wrong. Chris, you got something to say?
Yeah, I had a question for you guys. Why do you think it's hard to gain trust, but it's so easy to lose it?
Why do you think it's so hard? I gotta just say things out loud.
So
it's like a game show. Wait, say it. Somebody say it again.
I said, why do you think? Why do you think it's so hard to gain trust, but it's so easy to lose it?
I think it's normally attached to like an emotion, or like disappointment is like heartbreak. Disappointment it creates like some sort of chemical imbalance in you that kind of it's tied to like emotion, I think, and it's more memorable, right? You seem to remember what that felt like more than this. Like you say, gain trust is over time. We talked about that, right? It's not like instant stuff like that. But when someone does something that make you not trust them, is because either it's related to a heartbreak, some sort of emotion that kind of reminds you of that, right? So I think that's why it's harder to gain, or it's easier, I think, to lose it than to gain it.
Gaining trust takes equity, takes work, right? It takes pouring into to make something better. And when you lose that, it's gone, right? I can make one bad decision in my equity, and everything that I've worked for is now gone. And like Victor said, that emotional right there, everything that we've done is now gone. Literally can destroy you and, you know, take you into a bad direction that you probably don't want to go in. So it's really fast, and it's really upsetting to see everything that you had worked for, everything that you had believed is now gone.
That pride kicks in. If you haven't listened to that episode, go check it out. But a lot of it is pride too, like that emotion tied to it. Like, you know, I thought we had the same. I thought we were on the same page, and you're gonna go behind my back like that. It's a stick at my pride as a man. So
I have another quote. Today I'm full of quotes.
Full of quotes. All right.
But yeah, trust is like an eraser. It gets smaller and smaller after every mistake. So like every time you lie or every time you make a mistake, you're breaking that trust that you worked so hard to build. So like that eraser is just getting smaller and smaller because you keep having to try to erase those mistakes, try to forgive them, whatever. But then the next time it happens again, I mean, there's less there for you to hold on to.
That's hard for me, brother, because once that trust is broken with me, there is no more eraser.
Yeah, you're just like white out.
My empathy. I told you, it's something that I struggle with. Definitely, it's like you cross me one way, it's like, bro, like it's gone. Like, you know, you're gonna have to do one hell of a comeback, and you have to put a lot of work back in and be consistent and be patient with me to gain that back.
See, but I don't necessarily believe that about you. I mean, to an extent, yeah, but I feel like you have grown a little bit with that because we've kind of had to deal with that with our situation with our business. And
well, it's specific, right? It's specific. It's very specific, right? And it's almost selfish, right? Because when we go business, right, I can be more empathy, because at the end of the day, it's somehow, some way, it's going to benefit me, right? So there goes some
that makes sense,
right? Yeah. So if you you do me wrong, and our relationship, unfortunately, it's the way my mind processes it. It's ugly, and I don't like it about me, but I'm being vulnerable. If, you know, our relationship really doesn't benefit us in any kind of way, then, you know, I'm really not wasting my time with it. It's going to be cut off. And then, like I said, if you really want this relationship to work, we're going to have to go ham and work on it and just have that communication up front. Like, all right, this needs to be worked on. And I'm fine with that. Once again, if you can be, you know, upfront with me, set some expectations. Yes, I fucked up. Here's what I'm willing to do. Then yes, we can work on, you know, having trust again. But you cross me and then you're kind of mad that I cut you off, then I cut you off for that reason. You couldn't own up to whatever you did wrong. And so, you know, dust my hands off, homie.
Yeah, I think for me is, if you lose trust with me, you have to do some work to gain my trust back. I'm still going to give you like a little bit of trust, right, in some things, but you have to kind of work yourself through it. And I have some family members that kind of lost trust with. I'm still talking to you. I'm still, you know, going to be cordial and stuff, but I'm not going to, you know, I'm not going to trust you like I did at one point in time.
Do you want to call any of them out or what?
Can I get some names?
Oh, man.
What they look like.
But
what's their Instagram page?
Can mess up your trust,
right? It seems to happen with family, right? Like family are probably the ones that probably
they feel like
well,
you know, you owe them something because you're family.
Yeah, so it tends to happen more with family than with friends. It's funny.
Well, because you naturally are supposed to trust family more. Like,
nah,
like as like the traditional thought process is that it's your family, you should trust them, but that means they just hurt you that much more when they do something to break that trust.
Why is trust so important? Let's answer that question. Everything we talked about, why is trust so important?
Life's too hard to go like do by yourself. You have to trust people with certain things, right? A certain person has a certain skill set that you don't. If you want to be successful, then you kind of have to trust them to do their job.
I think if you're, I mean, unless you want to be, like Ian was kind of saying, just doing your own, just being by yourself the, you know, whole life, if you're cool with that. But if you're, you know, building a relationship, you're building a family, a home, you know, at work, things like that, you're going to be interacting with some sort of, you know, with people. you're gonna need to learn how to trust, how to build trust, how to gain trust. And if you have lost it, you gotta, find out some way to gain it back. So I think it's just part of just as human beings, like we are attached to like others in some sort of way. We talk about family. We're born into a family. You don't choose your family, you're born into it. So you already automatically into some sort of ties and relationships with another human being or a group of human beings. So you have to learn how to, master and be good of, a trust.
Yeah, I would say a lot of people work really hard on the relationships, whether it's a significant other, family members, business partner, colleagues, whatever.
Friends.
And yeah, friends, exactly.
Pieces.
So what'd you say?
Huh?
What was the last one you said?
I just play, bro.
But yeah, if you put a lot of effort into those relationships and then someone does something that just kind of defeats everything you worked for, like it's tough. It's a tough pill to swallow. And I think that's why trust is important, because you don't want to put in the time and effort into something if other people are not going to even either care or respect what you're doing or that kind of stuff.
Man, I love this podcast. Trust is the essence of relationships, right? Trust is the foundation of every relationship. All right. If trust is broken, that relationship's not going to be great, and therefore it's not going to thrive. And as a leadership quote came into my head by Jocko, in order to gain trust, you have to give trust. And that's something that I need to be reminded, right? You have to be able to give, because I told you it takes a while for me to process and to develop trust. But in order for me to gain trust from others, because a trust is how you influence people. It's how you get people to work. It's how you get people to work through other people, is through trust. You cannot build a successful business. You can't have a great relationship without trust, right? You got to be able to influence. You got to be able to pour into people. And I think trust is just pouring into somebody else. Remember, they all have bank accounts. And if you're willing to pour into them, then that means you care. There's that empathy in it. And so that influences people. So that's something that I need to remind myself, because, I'm trying to build an empire. And an empire, it takes a ton of people, right? It's not just some small smart circle. And I can't just do it selfishly about myself. I have to do it for that great cause of just serving others, because, you can walk far alone, right? You can walk fast alone, but walking together, you can get, even further. And so that's just something I have to personally deal with, is that selfishness is nasty. And I can keep reading, but I'm going to keep developing with you guys. But I love the podcast because that right there hit home with me. I got to give it to gain it. Give it, Jonathan. Give it to them all.
Absolutely. So I mean, that's key right there. It's kind of one word: got to give trust to gain trust. So if anything you learn about this podcast today, this episode, is that it's just give trust to gain trust and build it over time.
Yeah, and eat sandwiches with just mayo.
Like no meat, bodies. Like no meat whatsoever.
I think no.
I put cheese.
You put cheese?
Put a slice of cheese in.
Do you put what's it called? The fake cheese?
No, I haven't bought Kraft cheese in such a long time.
It's funny because if you look at the
like,
package, it says
no.
If you look at the package, it says cheese product. It doesn't even say cheese. It says cheese product.
It still tastes like it. I mean,
no, I don't. Boo.
No, it doesn't. Like
that
literally,
like
since
cheese.
I went to like real cheese, it's like, oh, it's different.
Like, why do you think that shit lasts forever? Like, it's not normal. Like cheese is supposed to get moldy. That shit does not get moldy.
Yeah.
True.
All right. Let's do this thing. What's the next topic going to be about? Let's tease them.
What is it? Let's see. It is daily habits. Daily habits that you should be doing? Yeah. Daily habits that you should be doing.
Oh, daily habits you should be doing.
That everybody should be doing. Yeah.
Everybody should be doing. Okay. I wonder what those are.
I don't know. You have to tune in to find out. The next episode. I'm just kidding.
On the next episode of Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. Well, I have what y'all got for the week? I almost forgot.
The week, what is it? Today's Tuesday. I don't know much, man. Just hanging out, CG, and then just with the kids, man. The kids is still 4 kids is different than 3, man. I didn't think it'd be that much different, but it's a difference, bro. And so
Yeah, 3's different than 2.
Yeah, and I gotta tell myself, like, especially the 2-year-old, he's not acting out, but he's like doing a lot. I don't know if it's just going through those 2s or he just has a lot of energy, but he's
trying to get the attention.
Yeah. So
easy, bro. Put his ass in the chokey.
He'll like that. We wrestle all the time, and he won't stop.
He's already trying to choke somebody. Nah, the chokey's from Matilda, the movie.
No, it's the pokey.
Oh shit!
I don't
It's
know.
funny because honestly, that's the 3rd time in the last week that something about Matilda's been brought up like around me.
The pokey.
What's the pokey?
The pokey room.
Are you sure
Yeah,
it's not the chokey?
I don't remember.
I'm pretty sure it's.
Man,
I think it's the pokey because it's all those spikes, isn't it?
All the room. Okay, I'm just talking about.
I'll let them know on the next episode.
I have to I'm gonna go YouTube.
Matilda. I'm typing it in right now. Matilda chokey.
Yeah, but yeah, no, just getting through that, just getting the rhythm of everything. So everything's going better than I expected, but so at times it's like, oh man, it's hard. Like my daughter is 5, she kind of hangs out by herself, but my son is like sometimes all over the place. My 2-year-old, but other than that, it's not that much. Other than that,
it says chokey, bro.
Does it?
CHOKEY, the chokey.
Oh, I thought I was thinking the pokey because isn't it supposed to be spikes in the room?
Yeah, but I don't know. Maybe she's getting choked by the spikes.
All right. I mean, if that's what it says, that's what it says.
Yeah, for me, guys, I'm looking just to get back in routine. You guys know,
get healthy.
I'm gonna get routine tatted on my neck. I just love being in routine. I love rhythm. I love getting shit done. And so, yeah, for the past 2 days, it's been good. Feeling amazing.
I need to get my eyes checked tomorrow. It's been a while since I've done an eye exam, so I need to get some new contacts. And then just working Thursday, Friday, and then hopefully I'll be able to watch the new Space Jam at some point this week.
Oh yeah, get on the
Jam coming with the Space Jam. Anyway,
edit that out, please.
Yeah, probably. Anyway,
it was perfect.
Speaking of getting checked, I went to the doctor the other day, and she asked me, "So, do you go to the dentist, regularly?" And I said, "No." So when was the last time you went? Probably like a decade. I have not been to the dentist.
Bro, you need to check your teeth, man, just by experience. God damn.
Luckily I don't have any.
When's the last time you've been to the doctor? I was like, when's the last time you've been to the dentist? I was like, damn.
No,
questions.
I'm bad at
that. I get multiple choice? Don't leave it.
No.
I go to the dentist regularly, but doctor, as far as like a medical exam, I think I was. Oh no, yeah, like a doctor. I don't even have a doctor I go to.
Check myself.
Same.
I go
Google.
cough.
Wet PD.
I'm good, dog. Great. If they don't move, then I'll go.
Yeah.
All there. 1, 2. We're good. All right.
Chris,
I got a quote from Ernest Hemingway. This is the best way to find out if you can trust somebody is to trust them. As always, thanks for joining us today. Until next time, peace and love.